Naroda Marmeta Bo Parinje Deangon Kajin Sumden Zavila Misha Lama Yedan Juson La Sorwan Deso Da Jusin Lo Sayen Bija Sui Sheme Doja Ra Len Yen Yen Den Jen Ban De San Ji Shen La Me De Pu Wai Ye Ro Go Nam Dai Shen De Ju Bai Ju Chan Ca Wa Dan Ju Jen Shang Ba Dan Ji Se Ye Rang Kui Shen So Wa Ye Ge Wai Jun Zen Dan Ken Je Zang Ba Tan Je Zo Bi Chan Ju Zheng O Sim Jian Nam Je Sang Ba Da Lo Yen Chen Zhan Jin Da Wa Che Chong Te Mon Te Ba Ye Che Jiang Ko Lo Ko De Zo
Dorzin Jong Delin Narodon Marba Mela Chuja Gamuba Bamudra Javandra Kaju Lama Namla Zorba Ante Erek the Jingor Janto Chabda Gading Gotami waiting Janzave Nami Shabji Pimula Gosam Hupa Jambucha that can Jazan Javota Sosan Jandam Jello Chusan Rory Kinjay Love the Zo Chulam Rory Kinjay Love Lam Jua Divar Kinjay Love the Zon Drua Yizan Jarvar Kinjay Love the to wait a tutor Kinjay Love the to the Kinjay Kinjay Love the tender tablan giver Kinjay Love the Zo no Yanton in Dover Kinjay Love the Zo Hong Yi Chuju Dong in Jigten the Genoma Jua Hong Ta Tang the Dami Chuji Janvi Zambando Vadam Jin Du Ye Machun Noganya Besam Jadam Jetawa the Dungen the Daniel the Lana Meba Yonta Wato Bikon Rinpoche Tovar Sha Ti the Dami Chutam Yamton America Nyaming Zimbari Bê bằng mô trở về giáo lần đế chăm tôi những chế ta phổ la xin bên chế chư thọ mà thiên nải trong lời mê vô chế mê giáo về xin nguồn tròn tế là nè đèn tô trong lời là cử giả vô la xin dân miên chế đèn sa ma xin na mang khăn trung con bố mẹ đà về lưỡi tâm chế la la nè đèn tô la ma cử giả có rè la mù cử chế nhama ma ya na chế la chế chư chư mẹ nhờ về xin mù cử đà la nè đèn tô sim nhi chế nam ca yong ba la nam thô chế tin so ma đè na chế nhi chế sa ca ra mẹ đà về Sim Dom Delan Eden do Tony Yena Rala Molam Jedorama Yena Kundu Jinju Men Jove Jingo and Delan Eden do that we didn't get something Gombuki. The Target Chimpunga did do Tangan Diki. Lama Tamanam Diki, Lamberman Yamson, Lama Telata, Toma Tella, the Toma Tigari, Chagat Chimbo, Osen Laviore, Tindu, that Rongon Pamadua in Sitella, the maintenance, Chakachimo, Sandy Dorzin, Minte, Tagiore, Te Dorzin, Delon, Maro, Marba, Military, Da Rinpoche, you won't tell a Chakachimo, Sandy Dorzin, Minte Tagiore. Chuji, Jigten Sumgon, Da Dongo Pangmudwane, Jigten Sumgon, Te Chuji Yapsini, Kibar Tola, Chakachimo, Nadine, Te Lamrampa. Dhondup jigwari de sabji ngando tindi xiaane nga dien din ta tindi tembe tindi no xiaware.
By developing altruistic intention to benefit other sentient beings, saying that I listen to the Dharma teaching is for the benefit of all the other sentient beings, with having altruistic intention to help other sentient beings and benefit other sentient beings, we listen to the Dharma teaching. So the topic that which we will going to discuss today will be Fivefold Path Mahamudra teaching. So Fivefold Path Mahamudra teaching has been practiced by all the great masters from the past, particularly in Kagyupa lineage. All the great Kagyupa lineage master has been practiced. And when we talk about the Mahamudra, the term that used by different masters, such as Mahamudra in the past, when we talk about the Fivefold Path Mahamudra, he has been actually talked, the name of this particular has been mentioned, that the co-emergent Mahamudra. So there is a term used for that. So the Fivefold Path Mahamudra, particularly and specifically classified by the Lord Jigten Sumgon.
Da pakto yapsini honla te chagachimo ngaden te me dele mare te yore tenena mengi naptung ti tenla chagachimo ngaden sene lam nyam slon de lam nyam le dewa o tenda tende chalare kala da di chagachimo di yubasna te yubakatong hon de hyure 당연만 나 자가 들으시는 제 이렇게 공디 라운드가 되는 것도잖아. 냐만은 데 실업 까보게 주바죠. 오 tetso 보시라. 도시 데다티 좀 말이 냠는 타직도 동gen탈라. 다고 라마티 실업이 주바탈까 하던데 탈라 냠는 실업이 주바 까보게 주바죠. 진인데 다탈라 먼저 가주에 넣으려나 까마 가주인데 지내나 다 자갈 샤초기 주바 자갈 호초기 주바 자갈 노초기 주바 형초기 주바 대 까버 주바 셔도기 대 진디 주들이 송요래 먼저 다음 정바 동 두바 때는 얘나 다들 동보 도전창 로도전창 먼저 로도 그래서네 zondu rimanga 와도 통juk 포바 디까하네 디레레레레를 텐디까하 그래 다때 전에 가르쳐서는 자기가 좀뭐 주바들서는 요 도전청 서라하 루게바 링게바 오 되게 말은 비주용들라 자기가 좀뭐 그까 요 정적선 봐 군도 소모당 로도 소모 되게 말은 비주용들 포디 두무가와 내린 준비해가 저거 인정받을라서니 규제를 다디 디 오서기 줘봐 가와 디 가오시 디인데 다 라위오레 디 통다틱바리.
So generally speaking, that when we talk about the lineage teaching that has been originated, and also when we talk about practice of Fivefold Path Mahamudra, this Fivefold Path Mahamudra teaching is actually specifically classified and made more clear. But actually, this Fivefold Path Mahamudra practice is practiced by all the lineages, no matter who we practice. So then also in the Kagyupa lineage, we talk about the, how to say, particular, the faded, or what do you call the, somehow we can say like, particularly that the teaching that has faded with that particular lineage. So this lineage actually, according to the Karmakagyu, they talk about is originated from India, but somehow they talk about eastern part of India, east, west, south, north, and then that is said to be a four faded Karmakagyu lineage teaching. However, in the Drupakagyu and Rupakagyu lineage, so we talk about the teaching has been originated from the Vajradhara onward and Saraha and so on and so forth. And then the so according and also within that lineage, we also have the Foa practice and Tumu and all these. So these are actually, we talk about originated from the Vajradhara onward to the subsequent the successors of the Kagyupa master.
딱 유바친다 가위 시에 통보서는 그 소소 이렇게 건드인데 신의 소소소소 냠내시 때 성악이 초인도 냠내 신겐토마도 용다 메네 다 된디시네 들리실랍게 까디게 긴디 때 실랍이 바세 된디차레 딘데 다 주진들로 발세나 도진 총무선제 도제 방무 Roma Yishin Kandoke, number 10, Chosoma non, the Sidu, Takonge, the Tambatoma non, Tortadi, the Jigten Migi, that the Migilama, the Temada, then the Lavand, Takonge, Yagariki, Tashalon no Yon, the Cover He, but Yons, the Bate, Delopeke, Yamji non. Honexi Lumunguela, la Mbeke, Rella, Konotibu, Yamnekine, Ta Sinata to Jig to Shari, Tanga, Kono, Yamyon, Tema, Tanga Temate, Ta Kongi, Tusi, Choduba, Naropen Jambal, Chiguna, Mechonoman, Mejimato, Jimajodon, Chiguke, Kajata, then, Kaba Chushute. Narupa nondu te kaba hi tamba te tam mintin de tapate te lobare jagatu kem mombo de galero so ge zome chu de so nyamle si mere ti gibare ma che tam to ge zoma si de ta te yons to ba te nyamle thoma je de din tam nga samote naro nongente Deloba Cononina Roma Resicada, Caso Rebada, Mungo Yorti, Toso con Nama, Naropa Chigal None.
So the in the past, when we talk about these four lineages of the Kagyupa teaching, it has been practiced by the one individual by one particular practice, and it's something like it becomes a very professional for one's own individual practice, and so only that practice will practice, and then they will not practice any other. So then the lineage of the Kagyupa, we also talk about the experiential blessing lineage. So therefore, the teaching is actually originated from the Dakini Vajrayogini. And Vajrayogini actually has been conferred entire teaching to the Tilopa, and he has all the teaching by the Mahamudra Vajrayogini. So even though he has received all the teaching from Vajrayogini, but however, he also traveled in all the four directions of the India to receive these four teachings, to show to the other people that he has received this teaching. And eventually he has been meditated and practiced for a long time in the isolated place. And then this teaching, eventually he has been passed down to the Naropa. So entire this teaching has been passed down to the Naropa. And Naropa is the only person who has received this teaching. And he has not given this teaching to any of the other students.
Naropa, the Telopala. Kaso ribata rika kong na beki na urdian kandu sondu ni long beki na kandu ni ju ki tangka te koto la kondo hyuri te tilu ki zasa non yo mare da te naropa ko lo ju ni ngal ten ri nye ka tangpa thoma ko lo kinong to hyundo na naropa la hyuri ten tenri ka no non yo mare da je le sinam 그 유바든 로동들이나 돌긴 총게 그동안 이신 칸도마 다 되나다 돌긴 인절마 되나 테리 tel노도 저 마랍주 손사대까지 터네 이 누드 때마다 영문도 데 동리 들이 디디엘 이식 무긴데 영문도 tel때 그래도 그 까지 터다 그래 자 이식 무긴데 나로바레 이행으로 그래 오 데리 난 나로바라 그게 que son y sin que me tan renga la sina ta body mari mesi wo telate don te marvel wa salon ten khale tendare.
So the initially the special instruction that is from the Dakini who has received by the Tilopa has not given to anyone, but eventually Tilopa had some kind of prediction and prophecy saying that you can give it this teaching to someone who has wisdom eyes or someone who has the special caliber. To that person you are allowed to give this teaching. And then that was the Naropa, and Naropa was the one who given. And after Naropa, and then they also predicted that the Naropa can actually transmit this teaching to the Marpa. So Marpa was the one who received this teaching after the Naropa.
Narobi ki marwala non rengala ta ti yedu kono ke namdan no yori ti marwe ki nilang non la bendor ki torji re chami chungbi hubaje ti narobi non de tela humju ke chune yanzen ke tela tho den ruwe chong ro zong ni tan no yi ke torji jansen khalan char o tel de gre thore te melare Milarepa, te konge melen sen tuba zamdi hyonjo mbe marum hon ni ma hyando bi tuba ga yi shawa jibu tla chansalo sonne te Milarepa la tiko tindi kano ga lugden de mo chatindi tobyare titu ka gibada ta tindi de ka habta.
So then after the Marpa, and Marpa also had in the dream he had the vision that he can allow this given teaching, give it to the Milarepa. In the dream, actually he has sort of like a Victoria banner in his dream, and lapis lazuli and so on and so forth. That was the indication that the student will be the Milarepa, and Milarepa is someone who has been also praised by the Naropa, saying that in the north side of the place where there is darkness, this Milarepa will be someone who will shine the light in that darkness. So he was the one who received this transmission. So this is how the transmission actually, followed and received and transmitted.
Oh, that you do melala, Marweke, Mar Nonkala, Regon, Zimba, Kalanchar, Dorjita, Choku, Tarzan, hotel degrees on the Regon Dizana, the Dawagman, Regon Zimba, that indeed, Yangan, Tindelavio, the Dawagan on the Regon of the Yore, Lavaga, Tin Regon Zibazana. Region Dorjita Quase. That Jedumilla, Tuxedio again, short the curvate, Sienda Shagore. This not only Nimat of it, Tagorumbuje, and Dawad of it, Region Dorjita Quang, Dave Ming, that Rayon Coteric to do that Jedumilican, Yanam Tuba Pogla. You do this a good young to see then. Nhung yo mare den yung chui yin mo ke tu sa mel si kon le chu pa so si den ta re chung do je tra kwan da wa je se re chung ni xiao se xiao do se tu de yin ni se tang a sha thong ma de re chung do je tra kwan no de.
So after Milarepa, then the prediction was saying that you can allow this teaching that you can confer or transmit to the sun and moon indication in the poetry. When you talk about the moon, we use the analogy of the rabbit. So in the prediction or the prophecies that has been mentioned of someone who holds the name by the rabbit, you can actually give it to this. So which means that this teaching transmission that it has been conferred to the Rechungpa, and Rechungpa is someone who is a very close disciple of the Milarepa, who is likened to be a moon-like disciple. And then second one is the Gampopa. Gampopa is someone who is likened to be a sun. So therefore, this teaching has been transmitted to these two great masters, and how this teaching has been conferred to the Rechungpa is that one time the Milarepa, he sort of like he pretend himself that he was very sick and not feeling well, and he asked the Rechungpa to look after me for 1 month. So during those time, then he has been given all these teaching to the Rechungpa.
Oh, that Rechungpa le the Rinpoche naru chudu ji jubate naru chudu nari tatela temcho sa tukyo tangi sa juson langa klinji. Oh, that tende jure the du chikyu no tende non tiji jere doje pamu ge sharngu se segne chu la chu ning te tsaba ji yu be这佛节了，昂人间，天天龙丹小的，就是土公东的，他们人跟着我这大佛节了，别的国家人公的呢，他佛前节了的，他们弄的，他提弄的是那我种的把自然的的，希望我是看着的，他这里的也公人把的，其他人把的，他都是怕做是那，土些节，年些就上，Zinabdi Sengshi, and do not to the Nistingatella, that not to know your. Then only that Tagun Bochansanam, Tanga Chigu, than the Niji Hendi Gema, you get down there, Kona, Tenone, Yaka Yungani, the Hendi Gema, Tenone, Tashin, the Niji Kindling to them, Tomate, the Nartome, Toma.
So then from of course from actually Milarepa, he has been actually transmitted these teaching to, generally we talk about his closest four or eight disciples. Eight disciple, he gave it all these 6 yogas of the Naropa and 66 the deity, how to say, the Chakrasambhara, or there are many different classification of the Chakrasambhara practices, and all these given to the 8 hard disciple. 8 hard disciples such as Milarepa, Vasangrepa, Shivarepa, and so on and so forth. And then also he gave it to this 13 other disciples, which are also said to be very close. And then the most importantly, that he has been given this teaching to the Lord Gambupa. Lord Gambupa has been received entire the secret pith instruction of the Dakinis, and secret pith instructions of the Dakini. They are more elaborated one and more concise one. All these teaching without leaving out anything, without missing anything, everything has been passed down to the Lord Gambupa. And of course, it has been not publicly announced that he has been given to this Lord Gambupa. However, he has really given these teaching to the Gambupa word by word. It's not something that, I think it's like a one-to-one. He has been received this teaching through by the word and through the air.
탐람 또 어떤 바탕 공람 된난다 탐람 또 어떤 바 이 당마토마 때 타고를 뭐 지나 요래라 레종라 요래 이는 요 레종티 탐람 또 때네 공람 책자지 못해 타고를 뭐 지나 다 근데 농요래 지드멜리히 이 탐람 요래 때네나 탐람 얘가 요래 때 또부터 강남 적자지 못했다는 거래. 제 때문에 탁보는 뭐 지나 달로마 사람들이 매잡아 요리 기능을 단초도 줄와 갑동 돌기자로 되나라 펄트 돌기자로 되나 공래 공 풍유스나 강 미슈도라 트란 통네 되네미야 배네 레온도 때 울라 배네 디 라바토마 동미 니라 도상 로정시는 다티 형람jamla 나니와 어 텐데게도 다 형롱 텐데 정바들이 다 텐데게 작바치쇼 가라다 때네 예 사진게 금주래 사자리 조냠나 나오래 데레 다 레종키 로마 호르금 나고 금주래 당남 교도 다 적진 니지지 처마 호르금 나고 금주래 휴요래 I think who wanting thing la tachi lama matin by your mare Mahamudra. The name Yele Taborum you come to some the Taborum channel. La ye Hunoram jam to Sumongo, Jungo, there is such a committee, Simron to Dazon song said that in the Syria. This is something can do today. That something to 네 마키 다 카이 땡에 메시 되네요. 딱 공기음된 시야시디. 지금 뒤샘정은 도대 리베 좀래. 뒤들다 텔링인데 가리에 좀래. 와데 시디 사라티시. 시디 데 방문들과 로 밑에 카레나서 동서 로마델 체크 다초이 리버리테 공시보세. 그래때라 공리거든 때래 땅에 하고 그래 진 다이라라 공동 땅에 딱 공지 때래 봐 심나 툭툭 매봐 진바 홍기 좀 마친 봐 남칼 동거지 봤다 니 주니게 내로 conto선 오 라마 신다도 딱 가르리 있으나 그다음 딱 보내기나 계션 다 마하요 다 되시고 다 좋아하고 너 땅에 long that mangam, but thank you with to some dance. That on that terrorism, think what to turn on it. Tell you, Congo, who won't get them. That a good of a mundo gori.
So when the teaching from the Milarepa passed down to the Rechungpa and Great Lord Rinpoche and Gambupa, and there are two methods specifically transmitted to these two great masters. One is more method are more how to say, the skillful path is more specified for skillful path, and other one is the more liberation path. So the teaching which has been received to the Rechungpa is more specific on the how to say, skillful means rather than liberation. However, the when you talk about the Gambupa who has received from Milarepa is more on the liberation path related. So these are the two differences. And then of course from Gambupa, then he has been passed down to the Khadong Dorji Gyalbo or Pangmudrupa. He has been passed down this teaching to the Pangmudrupa. And Gambo di karsa di tanda loju di Gambo basungwe wala. Pangmudrupa marwala Gambo bemba. Gambo. So when we talk about Gambupa, Gambupa is actually someone who came from Eastern Tibet to the west, I mean Central Tibet.
Pangmudrupa in Saturday.
Milarepa marwala.
Mama.
Milarepa jeri chunga marwa. Jeri chunga the Pangmudrupa dang.
Pangmudrupa Gambupa jere. Pangmudrupa Melanje yoma. Rejung ke lom, rejung ke yoma, rejung loma, kurkum na.
So the okay, so the Pangmudrupa is someone who came from East Tibet to the Central Tibet, and of course he has been studied with many other lineages, and particularly he has been also studied in Sajjaba tradition, and he eventually studied in the other traditions, such as he also received Rechungpa's student, the Rechung Kurkum Nakbu instruction also has been received by the Pangmudrupa. And then of course Pangmudrupa has been rely on many great master at the time when he was there. And then eventually he encountered with Gambupa, and then they had a sort of like a discussion on how he has been achieved meditation and so on and so forth. And then while he was encountering and having audience with Gambupa, and Gambupa was eating sort of how is the zamba dough, pak. He was eating that time. And then while he was eating that, then they were having some kind of discussion. And then when you have achieved such and such a meditation, what kind of mind that you have? And he was sort of like asked question. Of course, then Pangmudrupa may reply according to the whatever instruction he has received from Sajjaba tradition or what. I don't know what it says, which is said that. And then, but then Gambupa told Pangmudrupa that if you really want to practice meditation and the realization of the Mahamudra, then you really have to spend a lot of time in the solitary high mountain, and you have to really meditate on that. And once you meditate in that place, you have to really able to reach the state of the mind that is free from any concept and non-duality and non-grasping to any subject and object. If you reach in such level, then that is the achievement of the meditation. Other than that, whatever practice you do, it is not relevant to your liberation. So then after sort of like having this conversation, then Mahamudra actually really, wanted to learn more and practice.
Mahamudra to somebody carry Yanata, but not Majaba. Oh, Tendika, you know, Sena, one Tonege, Mahamudra, Tendin Kedo, Hana Pungente, Homanolitena, Marito di Yomare, non è Tony Comagnon, attendere con Yoden Chambore, Lamdi Majabare, con la Sena, da Fujim Boyori, non la Sena, so che da con le tango, Jaring of Susana, Tang Tomba, Lincoln Maturdi, Sarava Cardin Yishi, Trooper. Sarava Cardin Yishi, Chirgum Chambo. Yerba yeshitba tere marwa kuzongoya tere chofu shamba la sobata kona bujin dondoba ji da dunsa so tinong lesna da kon ya hyuni chi jartabde da suyongre ji kono ya to se lemdo sena 다치 야사도 외전으로 쓰레지지 니 야사도 개념 사주빠지 근생고 도리 기가로서는 교원 징텐 공공대 개념 그 효능의 거 텐다리 다테 가라요를 가줄려 버리 다레 레오 도리 다티지 노마카지 다 럼보지 야사다 레비아 촌마도 가라오 나지 진행가라 개념만 제라 징텐 공공 피지 오 당연 거기 Tamata than also secondary lives on the Jigten what it indeed. Seen it in be can wrap and join. How Pamudri, don't make it so wonderful in the charity. Telago, Dagwas in Pamudri, Tang Tongwata, Jigten Sumgon, Tere, Pemator Jazon Tella, Tizum Kumjari, so you only take Kumjari, so do. He converted tender ten, Jigten tender, young was a charity. He deals in a terrain, has it on what a yellow was a chism with a dojo or something. Yeah, Tanton with any Chumma Bagari, Yakam Bagari, Zamp combating. Let me carry on the Zamp. Ah, Tijavla, the Milarepa con you character ni taco da adam con tumbosin labio mare di giorno che de come ya lo che me la me in cari non è tender da taco dare na den la son o come ya lo zong kan choma ji hon da ron bo gente o te zong de bi tender de da tin ka ta ni ba tender chong kan ni zong ba san did you make down there? Thank you, Jazon, the Lama Jubi, you don't listen and tender it. After song and I learned your lesson, the Gaju Chage Chunki, did you? Tea and sound the so, Yansan so neat, Longo Pomadri looked you to Toma Chong Galland, and that Chetland. And they learned your Tamare, Tangosana, the Kamaka, nonsense, Tumbo. 다 치시 후후시 다 되게 총계요 총계부터 가르쳐 있잖아 바오 셀렌다 네노 셀렌다 설모 셀렌다 오 틴디 농산지요래 티나 방어드로 정말 정자도 그래서 자말에 걸어 지시다는 게 맞는 틴디 연참 시켰대 요 말에 당화 수죠 라마 스티 라마 수도 관도나 더 처음에 거는 처음에 당화 시단도 틴디 나 제코 정세를 자요 말에 등님에게 로디스나 텐다리 다트서나 다트 효고 말에 지시라 규비시 요공됐나 the teaching that it.
So when you talk about Mahamudra is someone really great, yogi who has been practice level is very high, and also not only that, he is a very scholar in Tibet at that time, and he had 7 close disciples, such as Tanglung Thangba and Zara Kalsang, Langtang Peman Dorji, and so on and so forth. Those are the 7 close disciples of the Mahamudra. And then Mahamudra has been preaching and giving instruction to his disciple. At that point, then someone approached to the Mahamudra and said that after you pass away from, after you attain Parinirvana, then who will take over your, the place? Who will be the one that will represent yourself? And then he said that my representative of the region will be someone who has attained Genyesa Chubarvela. Genyesa Chuba. The region or the representative will be the lay practitioner who has attained 10 bhumis of the Bodhisattva level. So he will be the my successor. And then they were keep asking when he will be here and when he will be here, and he said he will be here one day, he will be here one day. But eventually then the lay practitioner who's supposed to be Lord Jigten Sumgon has been arrived, and then made ordination, took vows and become bhikshu, and then eventually Lord Jigten Sumgon became the one of the most hard disciple of the Mahamudra. And then at that time, Mahamudra told some of them, saying that the Lhasa, there is a river. The river is not running downwards, but it is running upwards. Then Mahamudra told them. And then a few of other students saying that that is impossible. And then Lord Jigten Sumgon, sort of like saying, had other ideas, saying that, oh, this must be something that Master is telling us, some kind of indication that there must be something, some auspicious things might happen in the future. And then Lord Jigten Sumgon, actually said to the Master, yes, it is running upwards, and then the river goes to all parts of the eastern Tibet, or eastern part of Tibet is fully, has a lot of water and floating there, sort of like that. And that was the indication that future Lord Jigten Sumgon have a more student and disciples of that side. And this is what we call interdependent nature, so that's why Jigungpa, we talk about everything is interdependent auspiciousness, so we believe in the interdependent nature. So so when you try to understand the lineage of the Kagyupa overall, there are some terms that we usually use as the 4 major and 8 minors of the Kagyupa lineage. However, this is a term that major or minor is just used the term by some individual, but somehow it is not relevant to the how big and small. It is nothing to do with the big and small. So when we talk about the achievement of the practice and the realization is the only matters, not the big and small. So therefore, And therefore, when we try to understand the master or the history of the great master, it is only matters their realization, not the who is high and who is low. It is nothing to do with that.
나 공대 휴바다 이 리중 둘째 잡고서는 명아서나 다 강rin나 비 당하기 이 단주다 같은데 자도래 타고를 뭐지나 텐노예리 이나요 리중 둘째 잡고대 때 강경래 때 타고를 뭐지 그 경로 도전이 손지게 땜받더라더네 주 경로니게 따뜻이 남편 두고도 되는데 다 가보는 거지. 잼비에서 따고 온다고 저거 어차고 있게. 너 텐데리지. 당나다 이 본도요 된된 코너니 예리요 말에.
So when we talk about these two masters, Rechungpa and Gambupa, when we talk about in terms of the realization and achievement, there is no differences. However, the method and the way they used is that it is different because the Rechungpa is someone who has been lived as the lay practitioner or the yogi way of life in their life, in his life. However, Gambupa is someone who is a fully ordained way of life. So the way they live is live and preach Buddha Dharma to the student is a different way, but somehow their realization is there's no differences.
다다스나 디지 냠네 실업 주바테 까고 신이 주면 나라이 단디 나덴스나 자게 좀 볼까 주바 오트리 다텔라스나 랭규 니그래 랭규 니고 혼도 휴타리 단 예주스나 가정 휴타리 도르젠 정니 노아이 생각로마 드리들은 나로 따르를 맞주자 오텐다리 tinju tinonasana de da maru chudu nonasana usa tomo manam julito chudu noni de kaja chimbori kaja tamboyine tinone nyamne santrone da chanchin da di langamba thoma drone doji phamu nyebasana agarapchi bom ya tamba niente deo tendum te shonada samadena bom piute tendo o date sonsan tiri sile de churo tamba de engore zongore tinju ta danga dende o ta nyando ke thoma nyamsen ngengi kelsena ta khaton na de tonti non de ta chenonsa 샴니게 샴바콤나 디 우만만다바 도지테 톱듀 소소게 디 초디 냠네시교가 온자 용스도 거데 뜻대셔와 이 제레 니나 이담글사 당콜로도 바다 규디 장도도 요리샤 규 낸저라는 미비 다 된다를 생각때 긴걸 만다봐서 매잡아요 진호 마주콜로도 바 규디 잡고 콜로도 바 진이 단달랑 콜로도 마틀스나 타고는 버킹이 냠네 hilazons che lu다부터 콜로도 바노 닝도 기바도리에 송아 닝타도 도진는 요마이 송래 오테인지 아카레나 티 냠네티 시용도 통만간도 사 간디스 겁나 티 레송도 보체 다 형접샘 거래 형접샘도 빌리나 대상 문이 통내게 사태리 다 샘 형접샘 메데네 마롱 바삼티네 하거나 한로고 말에 사도비티 셴변 형접샘 비교경 들때네 산로가 같은 날이 tinju ta thongwa ngando chenende 샴드니 기타볼라 셴변지 규통마 젠나 통남이 우르지면요 샘군돈 될네 된도 단지경 공부게 초 간데스나 초 우질리죠 우도 사브종 그래 데 내가 쳔버리 우도 데 가르레스나 난도키 Chuo Chimbos Garguna, Troya was Gore. Troya was Mena, Chuo Gartogumare. Wonder ya would it. Mighty dinner, the lamp yet on Tosa. Then I don't count the two majority you also can marry the lamp lap, the tin, the king, not only chimney don't yet over 10 into that the Hachi you got 10 into the Hachi and the wiki on to the number talk that you was done. Mountain rock over 10 into that. Not the one to the Honda. Two more can go here. Take out some song, make a ton outside. And two may even go to here there. Lamin in your Hilam you kill Lamin in your Egypt of it don't get simply come there to me to a Mendici. Hilam you kill Lamin in your tendo for it. Tell some of the that's young again. He lay to it. Nothing in the Tango Shinda to such a jolo so much. And in Jigten Song Jungo, Songi to what he begun is conscious and yarding. That conscious and be hating with the la thing, the subject of law shop with you can do. What in that is.
So when Kajiba has 4 special fated teaching, one of them is the Mahamudra, and so of course within the other fated teaching we have the practice of 60 yogas of the Naropa. Within the 60 yogas of the Naropa, then you have the practice of luminosity, heat practice, and dream, and so on and so forth. In order for that to practice, then you have to go through the practice of Vajrayogini. The Vajrayogini, of course, you have to practice and recite. You have to recite 100,000 times of the mantra of the Vajrayogini, and only through that, then you can actually practice the 6 yogas of Naropa. So since we are going to discuss on the Fivefold Path Mahamudra teaching, yesterday we have gone through the empowerment of the Fivefold Path Mahamudra initiation, or the empowerment. So the first one is that we have received the initiation on the Bodhichitta and loving kindness and compassion. So the reason why it is necessary for us to have the Bodhichitta in the first place is because we need to visualize ourselves as a deity. In order for us to visualize the deity, then first of all, we really need to generate ourselves as the in loving kindness and compassion and bodhicitta. Based on that, then we can meditate or visualize the deity. So, second initiation which we have received yesterday is the deity yoga initiation, which of course when we talk about in Tantra, there are Kriya Tantra, Anu Yoga Tantra, Maya Yoga Tantra, and so on and so forth. Among that, we have received one of the highest Yoga Tantra sort of deities initiation, which was the Chakrasamvara. So when you talk about the special practice of the Marpa, he has a 3 special deity practice. So outwardly, his main deity practice is the Chakrasamvara. Inwardly, his main practice of the deity is Vajra, and then secretly his practice of the deity was Vajrayogini. So these are the special deity that is has affinity, or the practice which is done by the Marpa. So the Lord Jigten Sumgon keep telling everybody that without bodhicitta, then one will not be able to do any other practice. As well as what he mentioned in the teaching is that in order for us to practice the higher level of the practice, we must practice the foundation one. It is also mentioned that in my lineage or in my tradition, that foundation practice is far more crucial than the actual practice. So therefore, the foundation practice is very important. So when we talk about foundation practice, the 4 preliminary practice, there are 4 uncommon preliminary practice and there are 4 common preliminary practice. So each and every single practice has its reason to practice, because when you talk about practice of the Guru Yoga is to receive blessing. When you practice the Vajrasattva, it is to purify all your negative karma. And so because in order for us to attain Buddhahood, we may have a lot of negative karmas, we may have a lot of obstacles. In order to clear all these obstacles, then we really need to go through all these stages of the practice in order for us to practice the higher level of the practice. When we talk about you are not allowed to practice this and that, it is not something that we sort of made rule that you are not allowed to practice that. It is the way that you should practice accordingly, the step by step. You have to follow the stages of the path. If you follow the stages of the path, then even you do the higher practice, it becomes more effective. It is not something that a rule that we made saying that you can do this, you cannot do this. It's not like that. So therefore, we must understand in correct way that why such and such practice is not allowed for us to practice, because we need to clear a lot of obstacles and clear our karma and so on and so forth. So out of the fivefold path, Mahamudra, first one is the Bodhichitta, and here Lord Jigten Sumgon also said that Bodhichitta is the form of Buddha. Bodhichitta is the Buddha. So therefore, here where it says that on the stallion horse of love and compassion, if the stinema in the race of benefiting other is not there, the applause of multitude of gods and human will not rise. Thus earnestly strive for this preliminary mind. So therefore, the Bodhichitta is crucial in the Lord Jigten Sumgon's teaching.
Xiang de Niki Tapola, Shibendi Kutomadi, Tronami, Virginia, Sumgon, the Nedendos, Tandi, Hongyo Sam Kong, the Tadasana, the Mombo, Ya Lapchi, the Goina, Desena, Mombo Yondo, Chivakari Yong, then Mother King, Kondo Jana, King Shamba Kong to Meadows, that is Hongyo and the Kitom, the Tau Garisegis. Boss young dog. One rate till young Marie, Johnson, the Jagona, the Jetona, the Thomas on Jerry, thing the jet of Cabore. The couple in the Mulat Tigute, Talaman Latina, Tamatan on Jerry, them to word there. That's so wrong, wrong, Takisi, wrong, Tagari. Thing the Joan would hang. Sumgon the courage da dam kun taki sidi that shambali jendo shamba tere nige jendo nigele Sumgon te jendo ozongre that in the shamba te jibi he te poma ronge ta shinda te la rong ta shinge de ta chu shamba gongri de shamba gong to mari ta se Got to my Ticonton, one Tony Lamgeria, La Muni Yabori, te Kajazo, Tiendu, that Homa, Yamba Gumza de Rung, Java Casilong, the Rongo de Jagri. Java Toma Mile, Londana, that room Martin Yori, Martin Yoma, Taki Sigri. Teta Kizina, Ron, Ama Martin, Muchio Mari, Sinjana Sina, Amatin Dere. Ama Duce Kadi Candendo. Ngando Tombo Chuncho, Ami Lul Tongan Mumbatangore. That is certain Amala Galitangore. Tako Matombi Pumbo, Ami Tautia. Wrong between a jar. Dilagwa me, that condition. Teach it wrong to do in no don't let. And that is not as I will know. Tis murder, cara, Mukozam here, Tora yore. Michi be tundu to the so put a bit wrong with so don't say to the Oh, that I make here in wrong tending that Shamba. And then the Shamba city. Tatan road to Sinjatoma. Near Ama Madi by Jagimado. Tata ne wrong star with Tati Ama the Rete. The Java Shinta Gablam, Ama Madian Madon. The Sotoma, Ni Mari, Tinkimburi. Ning ye, then you get Hilly Jaggery as on
So we are talking about how to generate bodhicitta within our own mind, how to develop bodhicitta within our own mind. And this kind of question is very common these days, whether I come to Singapore or whether I was in Lapchi. This kind of question is very common, that how can I have the bodhicitta? How should I develop the bodhicitta? And they will also say that it is very difficult to have bodhicitta to someone who made me angry, so how can I have bodhicitta to these people? So actually, of course, they are try to go to the master and try to ask this question, hoping that master will give some kind of special instruction for them to, practice or, guide them and so on and so forth. But actually, it doesn't work that way so much, because after all, you are your own master. So therefore, you have to always look into your own self, and you really have to think about how can I generate and how can I develop bodhicitta within my own mind. You really have to think carefully, So here, Lord Jigten Sumgon clearly mentioned that in order for us to develop bodhicitta, first we need to develop loving kindness. And then with the loving kindness, then we will able to generate compassion. With the compassion, then you will be able to develop bodhicitta within your own self. So how do we do that? It is very simple, that we all know that we have been many lives since the beginningless time until now. We had countless number of lives. So you all know that each and every time we had life, and then we had a mother. So I'm sure we all had a life with mother. Without mother, we cannot be born. So therefore, every one of us, we had mother. So each time when we had mother, how much the care and that she has been done to you. First, of course, when the mother is being pregnant, how much the body, the pain or whatever the difficulty that she has to go through, she has been bear all these pain and suffering. Then after you born, of course, cleaning and feeding and all kinds of things that has been done kind to us. And so to protect her own child, even it may cost her life. She will put herself in danger of, saving the, child. And not only when we talk about mother, not only human being, but even animal who do not have a, this kind of, wisdom to think, but still when it comes to the protecting his or her own child, then really they put their life in danger and save the children, child. So therefore, since the beginningless time, we had many lifetimes, and then we have been cycling in the different realms of the existence. Wherever we born, we had a mother. So in that context, the life that we had is countless. Sentient being that exists in the world, in samsara, is countless. So in that respect, we can understand that each and every single beings have been our own mother. So in that way, there's no way that we can have a hatred towards this person, because every one of these beings has been my own mother. So my own mother, the present mother and the previous mother, they have been same kind of kindness has been provided to us. So therefore, we really need to feel loving and kindness and compassion to all these beings. And then naturally, we will be able to develop bodhicitta within our own mind.
Mate dar dronge mate nimba shi na ti shi ti da mate gi so ron hyung ka la te sa me shi hon me shi ro me shi ye me shi be so ma la ne ta no ne chon ne ge mate dam ba je ami ge so jong no lo de ji ti ami ge ron la gyo lan ro son la zam yo ma re so la zam yo ma re phuti ya wo ji hyung no si na nye phuti yawo, nye phumo ti yawo ti kyuna damni amegi rong nyeng dewa kandenda sto. O ta te rong man degi buriya simjan thamje re, te tak jesi. Te simjan thamje jigwa re nuna, ta simjan thamje ti rong ma re, ti ma to so shen je gengo ji gong ba cha tong tindi shena nyeng ge so sa re ma re, tili nyeng ge je sa re ma re. O ta te rong tak ji she gre.
So once we are able to recognize each and every beings are our own parents, and present parents and previous parents, there is no differences. Therefore, they have been taught us how to eat and how to walk and how to say things, and they trained us until we become fully mature human being. So when you're able to understand that, then we can really able to understand that all these mother has been kind to us. So therefore, when we see these beings are having problems and sufferings mentally and physically, then we really have to feel compassionate and loving towards these beings. If you're able to really understand that all these beings are my own mother, then when they are going through different kind of pain and suffering, you cannot really take it in your heart. You really feel, how can I help this person? How can I help this mother? So you will naturally able to develop this kind of sentiment and empathy towards the mother that we that has been kind to us.
Oh, that the amante kinki wa he amante simjan gun chabat he to li na ta matanam dewa don ne dongar tatar nyor dalana me bayon ta ba do be khonjo rom be so bar sha namni started kore ti khonjo sen to matena de khonjo sen de chokya jan don chokjen jen chabula tin du man nam ga den be simjan dam je ta dongar tel thor kona ta khonjo sen de kore khonjo sen de yang ta ba si chang le na ta lo sen je thong den ro ba le la rong de nyam ne kharisina ni ta ba de Rotobale. Tell and Jigten on Jingu. Yama pool is na poo in that and don't do number your mari, moda your mari, tin the bed like some bodel peshavare. 大松木的同情不主管，大松木的大松木是个嘛，大他家的跟这个嘛的，大松木如呢，第一大众开的同他照顾呢，听着头了，听着哩呢，心间给同着，别提醒相交心的过来，相交心里呢，心间同着了，心间同着哩呢，这就掏出吧，这个这个现在就好出来了，好出来呢。 had miji being a good medum torn. I tuned away to ropes on then. Indeed, the bed bent on the jar, Shanty, John Jobson, the bed jar, Kaburi. That is only an egg, the Nandaria, the Jagato Jigten, Yona, Yona Matajin, and Jane Rokon. Namdu Tigaya, Taxus Cory, that Yaku, Chajiman, Rotoma. Teach again, Zona, then Rotobler. Oh, better no get it. Johnson, here was a Julina, Simjaton Robertella, Simjaton Dona, there, had me, no good she became. Names, oh, and that's it. Is that is, and Tangarazam today.
So the with the recognition of all the sentient being as our own mother, then we have to understand and recognize the kind that has been done to us. With the understanding that kind that they have been provided to us, then we have to understand that these sentient beings are pervasive to the entire space. You know, they are limitless. Sentient beings are limitless. So with the understanding sentient beings are limitless, then we need to have a mind and train ourselves in the four immeasurable thoughts, which says that may all mother sentient beings have happiness. May all mother sentient beings be free from suffering and causes of suffering. May all mother sentient beings be free from attachment and aversion and so on and so forth. So this kind of thoughts that we need to develop. So the main point is that we really want to liberate their suffering. We want to free them from suffering. So here in the Fivefold Path Mahamudra, when we talk about the horse, is a horse used as the analogy, because Lord Jigten Sumgon was in Tibet at that time. In Tibet, we use a lot horse to do a lot of things. So the good horse, which can run well, if the horse can run well and go somewhere that need to do things that you're supposed to do, if that same way, if you have bodhicitta or the loving kindness and compassion, then you are able to fulfill the wishes of the other sentient beings. If you're able to fulfill and fulfill wishes of the other sentient beings, then the God and the human will applaud you or make sort of like appreciate you, because if you're able to do so. So also the loving kindness will help us to generate compassion. Compassion will help us to generate bodhicitta. So without this bodhicitta, then we will not able to attain Buddhahood. For example, if we want to fly to India, then we must have to have a flight ticket. So same way that we must have to have a bodhicitta in order for us to attain Buddhahood. So if we able to have bodhicitta, then we are able to also fulfill wishes of all the sentient beings and help and benefit other sentient beings.
Oh, Trajan, Harma, Churi Mando, na, that's Tomar Marido, than wrong the same. Man, then of Devatum, and by Huna Chimaron, must get Tamji Tong, the Maron to Narno, Carina Re, Louis Tovatia Topsana, Tomnato, Simjaling, Penstosona, Zamlegi, Churi Militamno, Jedana, like on your son, John Mickey, take in under, John Tata years.
So the sign that how we able to really develop bodhicitta within our own mind is that if I will able to serve and help and fulfill wishes of the entire sentient being, even my body need to cut into the 100 pieces, I will be not regret. If you have such kind of courage and gut to help other sentient being, then that is the sign you actually have trained your mind and you have really developed bodhicitta within your own mind.
Oh, that thing, John told them it's a wrong Jita. Thing is, he dana, yes, you don't say, move it, Jita. Yes, you get on the shaggy. Then John Munduna, the Niesim Tetarum, Tella, Chundi, Hado, London, tell Yawashi. Yawashi be Utella, Mone, that division and Te Lamatella, the Sonjing Ujik in the shaggy. Young Gundi, your dinguidin, choose on the timber, Tendiki, Lamateco, Tendes Condon, they tell Sunjatamji. Let me talk with you to get Japson Roy jump to Chambajan. Oh, that is in oh, that Sean Johnson Jin, that do them as another tea, Sham Niggy, Sean Johnson somebody. Jibayan, the Mongo to let the don't do this, what in the industry.
So if you have really bodhicitta in such way as I mentioned right now, what I have mentioned to you, if you have if you have a really confidence in that, yeah, if you have this kind of thoughts, this kind of courage in yourself, then you should feel, rejoice, and appreciate for yourself that you have reached a such level. However, if you have not reached that level, then you really have to train well in the practice of loving kindness and compassion, and also you have to view your own guru as a Buddha. You have to view that guru embodies the Buddha. With this, then you really take refuge or the protection from the guru. So which means you get all the instruction and you listen to the guru and follow his instruction. So this is the brief sort of how to say explanation on how we can develop bodhicitta. So it's a very concise way I have explained, but of course, if you want to find out more detail, of course, there are many other teachings that you can try to go and understand and read and study, so on and so forth.
Oh, that Jigten Song book, Koneki, Gon, Yam Salon, Koneki, Taki Shi, that Koneki Yomaki Delte, oh, that thing at the Daniel Terry. Tiny Batana, Ronul Haku Jarola, Shinjun Miji, Dansa Madonna, Mankandu, Konbon Mandubi, Luigi Damji Hala, Nedian to say, oh, that, interest of it. Mandula Kong Sena, Tangwanga la Kong Jerem to the Congore, read the La Convent, Chilom Perigate, take tea one day, near the Jardon at the dam. I tell you, Mari. Wrong ye and Duman, you don't seem to send a woman here, man. Mochina Ron, the raptor on some Chukushina. Chuku, lay Jingorin Bashina rap. Jing Ronu, Hito Tambarja, Jing Motion and Ding. Then Tama don't know he can go to years on your head. Think Ronu, the Hito Tambarilla, wrong same thing, Clary. Think that among and okay. Ronun de la Haku, Jarola, Jarbo del Pesha, Jarbo Tella, go Hitu Satella to Nesa del Nini, Nandu Jabuki Tensa Sumadaba, Suzuki Yedamla, Kone, Tiki, the Namtoki, Yigmasombi, Genum Tembo Tella, Zarda Tenzons, that was in the Ligi, Pondo, Changzin, oh, to so they were to go is that was enough. Tagwasana Hala de Tukanga, you will again, Delinda, Tununga, you get Toyan, John, Delinda, the Ropomoni, you get Dana, Deity, Delinda, oh, Yatari, Changzan Mumbo, what in the Yori. Tell us na the Yona, now take the Yona take the Shanokos and the Terry Mare. That is you think about it. You think carrots and uncle to buy huge chat needing the yore. That's not tuning you run about huge chat needed. Tapini on the sharp needed Tambani. Oh, Tio, Lamta, Pemigate, Peman, Creation, Magoba, Tantongi, Titan, Niman, David, and your tenene, the Tapini on that, and down, come money, you get down. Titan. The Yagina Godon, Tuntemanoni Terra, Shavon Nandeliore. Tin you wrong the Julio, Chagnon, you would tell Nango, don't tell ye. The Ola Toba Gambongai, which in Matella, the Javaran for ye. The young and Dawiver and Dawatella, Maribu Mumpasivan son ye. Tell us, we needed him or te. The Utajola, Chi Yarjimata. Jigten Jubal Torwa. Chi of the Legal, some years in the Bantoye. Oh, Gens on the two on the way to Masiba. Oh, that took your your two tomata, your dance on it. Oh, that take no here, but talk about him, but I get it.
So talk tension.
Andy, the way.
So the teaching which we have received was actually experiential teaching by the Lord Jigten Sumgon. What he has been experienced, and then he explicitly explained and to his disciple. So it's an experiential teaching. So then, out of the fivefold path, Mahamudra, and second one is the visualizing the deity. So the visualizing the deity is something that we really have to understand, is that we ourselves primarily has been the body of the deity. We should not think that we are generating new deity within our own body. We have to imagine that the deity has been within us since the beginningless time until now, just we have not able to recognize it. And when we try to visualize the deity, we should not imagine that deity can attach to our own body. We should not try that deity should try not to attach to our own body. It is within our own body. The body of the deity has been there for all the time. So therefore, so once you are able to do that, then of course, if you are most superior practitioner, then there will be a understanding of the the realization of the Mahamudra. If not, at least you can able to the recognizing within our own body there are peaceful and wrathful deities are all within ourselves. So this kind of thing we have to understand. Then so here Lord Jigten Sumgon used the analogy saying that it's a our body is likened to be the king of the deity body, king. So the reason why it used is that king has his own place and a stable place, and then that is the main seat of the king. At the same way that we have to establish the deity within our own body, that firmly. So one important thing that when you visualize the deity, there are three things are important, which is when you visualize the deity, the clarity. When you visualize the deity, there is a clarity, and then purity, and then stable. So in the clarity, then you should visualize the deity that has all the ornaments, whatever there has been wearing, and all these, all the ornaments and tools and whatever, how many heads and all these, we have to have a very clearly in our mindset. Then purity is that when you see in the deity, there are some deity is in the wrathful form, some deity is peaceful form, some deity standing on the corpse, and some deities has the 5 crowns of the human skull, and so all kinds of things that you will see. And then all these things that you see in this deity visualization, one should not have the wrong perception towards that. It's you should not have the literal meaning of understanding of how it appears to be there. You should understand all these are trying to help us to get rid of our own attachment to our own self and self-grasping and ego clinging. So we must understand that, because each and every single things that you see in the deity, it has its own meaning. For example, some of the deity has 2 arms, 1 face. That represents, 1 face represents the ultimate truth, has only 1, and then 2 hands shows the wisdom and compassion, and then the 5 skull, the crown represents the 5 Dhyani Buddha, and then 3 eyes represents the 3 times. So all these has meaning. So we have to understand correctly. So that is what we call purity while we visualize the deity.
Kido naru ndurye rewa komba thono ngaju tojan jong dugi ngabji taken thoje talla soba tatarge kuge yodenta so toma an dundu yomdo je pang tenno ye kondo manmo sejene jesu chagba doje serwa tongwanye la yigyomi ba tenso je dorje pangmo sanla namto ke mauba o thala phangmo de chen kundo manman ro la jesu chagba chocha ni ji nyam de temba chowa tane togwa chen thar jo ba chagwa ne sugyen le jesu chagba yen dong tu som se ge o xian ge da ti ge chang den de ko lo tum be ge ka ye ba da ji ba da tane sena de ge 타티엔 기견데 요 말에 팀이슈 다기과 오 타다 공바텔라 다 탑히 인메 텐송게 된다레사 다텐송게 tel라 만족이 깨름 tel라 데 심지게게 네네 됐으나 다들 바운 칸도 담게게 소콘다바 롱차 토그레라 제 긴코르기안 속에 찹다든 요 토그레 Tata gong mato nada jaru peja ya, jaru ti tuza porong no mati chalo thong ju gena, tere jaru yimi mi hako marela, te koro ta ma ta pong ti so yang ya mari. Te singe yidang na ti kumte, ta rong ke tensa song ne te ma ye na ma kandu kan kombo mandu pe, the Lu Tela Yadam Nadanshi. The wrong, I ain't woman in but Yimbi, Ye Tembo. Don't get from them, do back on your may. That thinking, Pancolo to make a Jinkurchimbo. Shoot of the rhythm, Yejitembo. Oh, take Goris to not tell her. Majar Temba, Statala, Zarta Tenzon, Sangajar Temba, Geno Condu. Oh, take Goris. Till you get that there, that's in general, you don't keep it. The young man servant, so he seemed to him at all there. The Tiguda, the Batamada Terry. Betan and Duki, the Chu, Yata, Shanjugena, Ginom to study in the Chutella, Nyanyomena, Lord Wood, Tomen on the Charity, Chutomado, and Tinon, Tagana, or Lord Wood Charity. 약간 나와서는 나이고 텐텐셜이 큐텐 용용이나 뒤에서 샤토고 말이 나와 코는 나와 지구라래 로코는 로동 제랑이나 디디인디노 샤디노 미샤르담니게 디 효견요 말이 되는 그 코는 타마달잔 샤메샤텐다리 베트노 기타 소소게 이담라데 자다 땡상 군리나 Madobacoy, Yomaret, or that thing do as a Yapu Gersa cylinder around the same stage and near to breathe. Tenelli enough, dear Marcadon Congo, don't have that Louis don't get later. Let the heroes is only. Down to ya.
So the So when we talk about generating ourselves as a deity, it's an analogy used for the king, the deity king, the body of the deity, king of deity forms. So which means that if the king who did not stay in the king's palace, he walks out and go out with an ordinary person, then nobody will know that he is a king. So therefore, he has to sit and they keep his throne, and he has to keep his palace as a palace, and he himself as a king. So therefore, if you keep doing that, then of course everybody will recognize you are king. The same way, the deity that has been inherently has been with us for throughout, since beginningless time until now. If we are not able to recognize that, if we are not able to, practice it or accomplish that deity, then we will be always become ordinary. Our body will never going to be that of the deity. So therefore, we have to firmly have some kind of, it's called a stable, the third one is the stable mind of having firm conviction of the deity, which sometimes we use as the pride of the deity. We must have to have it. Pride of the deity means that you are fully convinced, you have the full confidence that you are deity, nothing else. So you have to have this kind of deity pride. So once you have this kind of, confidence in yourself and practice, and you have to keep doing it. And then after that, of course, each and every practice we need to dedicate for the well-being of entire sentient beings. So whether we will be able to accomplish that or not, whether this kind of achievement is possible or not, it is completely depend on the individual's practice, individual's practice and dedication, how much we can dedicate for the practice. If you can really make hard work and dedicate your practice for this kind of practice, you will be able to accomplish yourself as a deity. For example, you put a glass of water in the on the table, which has no pollution in the water, so you will able to see the reflection of the light in the water. The same way, also the moon reflection will also appear in the water. But moon is only one, and light is only one. It reflects in that glass of the water. But moon has no intention to saying that I will appear in this particular the clear water, the reflection. But if the water is clear, naturally the reflection of the moon will appear in the water. There is no way it will not appear. So what it is happening right now here is that if individual is try to make good effort and try to have this kind of practice throughout our life, we have make good dedication and generation stage of the practice. If we keep doing it, then in the correct way, the correct way is, as I mentioned to you, that when you practice the deity, there are three things are important, which is clarity, and then purity, and then you can call it full conviction, or you can say stable confidence in the deity pride, that you are the deity. So if you have these three things in your generation practice of the deity meditation, then sure you will be able to achieve your body as the deity. So this is the short explanation on how one can practice the deity generation practice.
Lama kuji hora lama kuji nima majana hilab ki chuju manjongbe summa wundala nadan zo songre tantinga de lama kuji ta lama turkugin duje lama longkugin duje lama chukun duje ta jengo ma ta lama ta rongsim jami lama muwani jiko o ta tela muwu yabu de tibjong mele de kong la nima chalenda Nana Chilam Jong to Maris, King do Loma Cuisine to Jigten, Mogut de Jomele, and Uncle Satinary, Star, the two.
So the out of Fivefold path Mahamudra, third one is the Guru devotion. So here it says, on the snow mountain of the four kayas of Guru, if the sun of devotion does not shine, the stream of blessing will not follow forth. Thus, earnestly strive for the devotion longing mind. So then here when we talk about four kayas of the Guru, you have to develop devotion to the Guru with the Guru which embodies the Dharmakaya, Guru which embodies the Sambhogakaya and Nirmanakaya and Swabhavika. So Guru, one who embodies all these four kayas in one Guru. So with having this kind of strong faith, then you need to develop devotion to the Guru. So once you are able to develop devotion to the Guru, genuine devotion, if you're able to develop genuine devotion to the Guru, then the blessings of the Guru will come forward to yourself. The same, for example, the analogy used here is that if the sunshine goes onto the mountain, snow mountain, then snow mountain will naturally melt, and then the stream of the river, the stream of the water will follow as these, because the sun has been shone onto the snow mountain. The same way that if we have a strong devotion to the four kayas of the Guru, then we will receive the blessings of the Guru. So this is the short explanation again.
Oh, that's why Simi Nanga Yumbala, Namto, Tinto Madina, Simi Sagar Mudabi, Semadon de la Neden to Sore. That's some the wrong Taki Yabo Hijena, Sim Carpondo, Marbondo, Nagondo, Taki Yabo Ye. That's a congi, do manena, ane, so candas do, Tetagidi. The manena, that's him cono. Huyong something, Nam took him, Majingba, the Tonga, Namgal Bechare, that's Jimmy Namga Yongwalas, and Namgado, Telaba, Mani to Toyoma. Mani did get in the Tayoma, Tonganilla, Tonga, Toyoma, Tin the same con, Kuyumbo Ronja Chagres, the Kuyumbo Ronja Chan. Nam told the Tin there was me semi yogre to so pa. Things only in there, wrong some corner and nail tonto grace. There's some corner tuning in Nello Canada. Shuka Denada, Zardon Yishi, Dedon Yishi, or Yishing I Dangina, Thomas Sam Corner, there wrong Hakole, Yenata on that terry. But in the same tell, say, Namton Malilet, and then there was the only Dakon.
So the out of the fivefold Mahamudra, and then the fourth one is the Mahamudra, where it says in the vast sky space of mind itself, if immense clouds of thoughts have not dispersed, the planets and the stars of twofold knowledge lack sparkle. Thus, honestly strive for this non-conceptual mind. So here we are talking about how to meditate on the Mahamudra. So when you talk about meditating on the Mahamudra, then first of all, you have to look into your own mind, check your own mind, and what kind of color it is, white, red, or black. If you don't see any color out of this investigation, then try to see if there's any shape, what kind of shape the mind has. When you try to, try to dig into it, you try to explore and try to find out, you will find nothing. So when you try to find something, you find nothing. It is the state of the mind that has no conceptual, mind that is free from concept. When the mind free from concept, it is the emptiness nature. Emptiness nature is something like space, which has no shape and color at all. So it is something, when you try to define the true nature of the mind, it is unfindable. But what we need to do is that we try not to fabricate the mind, or we try to we should try not to have any fixation in the mind. Rather, we need to leave the mind as it is, natural state, without having any fabrication in that. Of course, when you try to sit and meditate in that for a little while, and then clouds of the clouds of the conceptual thoughts will arises. When clouds of the conceptual thoughts arises, again, if you try to sit naturally without having any fixation on that, without having any kind of, fabrication in that, then you will be able, the clouds of the conceptual will disappear again. So keep doing it. Once you're able to do that, slowly, then you will able to reach the state of the mind where there's no thoughts at all, completely free from any concept and any thoughts. But yet we talk about, you will able to understand and experience, that is the union of clarity and emptiness, or sometimes we call it and bliss and emptiness. Sometimes we call it appearance and emptiness. All these will manifest within your own self.
That on that no cho get him on a dancing. Oh, so do you took your jig, gave a honjiva. That la Lonam you told the easy to need you didn't intend to pay Mulabayandu, when the run-up to the country, the Zakelina, tell and dribble majority. But in the race, go ye no root of a race. Ye no rutella, Manduka Sorwa con, damna, Simjans of the con, Movic Sorwa damna, teaching the no routine driven young race. Teaching them and do son of told I shall ten the gong main track watching bo, tearing bo, or near merely tang attended the young then. Tadi, Chindi, Nika with Devala. Yeah, they tar young married. That dang on the Toma, they hard calling the careers and must be by years only to our body. Ding and looking the yiki, get your home, Jibande, the Chejo Mari, Candida gave us on the Ishik society on a day. Tato, Hunchum Young, Lina, that should take by the jam to general. Hong Tonina, Jamzo the Macan factor. Took by the state of Maris. This in doing and do he Tony is one of the Simjantam, Sunji to be young was Italiana. That is the name get tea, so yeah, Maris. Madam, the Honjo matter what started Maris. Honjo told Selena, that one do go Sonji Homotobi. Not that one do he. Reva says that Kare, the Dorzin, that Terradi, Teto Salina, Timando, Telamando, Ting the Jordan Mujanga, the Manduki, oh, Malam Mahibi, Norani, you know, Malam, Nedian Norasi, that is on it. Oh, that day, Nadi, joke. That is you can.
So in order for us to attain Buddhahood, then of course we always talk about we must have to have the true accumulation of the wisdom, accumulation of the merits. Without that, one will not able to attain Buddhahood. So out of the fivefold path Mahamudra, the last one is the dedication, where it says that as for the true accumulation of the wish-fulfilling jewel, if it is not polished with aspirations, the necessary and desired result will not happen. Thus, earnestly strive for this final dedication, which means that the true accumulation is supposed to be it's like a wish-fulfilling jewel. If you have a wish-fulfilling jewel, then of course whatever you make a wish, all the wish will come true. The same way that if we're able to dedicate all the merits that we have, then it becomes the cause to us to become our liberation, enlightenment. So the Lord Jigten Sumgon said that throughout many lifetimes, each one of us, we have made a lot of positive karma and negative karma both. But the thing is that every time that when we create positive deeds and positive virtues and so forth, then we have been not dedicated. What happens is that most of the time we only dedicate for our own this life. Anything that we do, we dedicate for for ourselves to be healthy, long life, have more prosperity, and only this kind of the dedication on aspiration, prayer, and wish that we make. If you do so, it is only for help for this life, but not helping us to become the cause for us to becoming or the enlightenment. So therefore, each single practice, the virtue and merits that we have accumulated, we must know, we must remember and know that dedicate for the attaining enlightenment. So the dedication, if you know how to do that, it is like the drop of the water. If you drop of the water, if you put into the ocean, the drop of the water will remain there forever until the ocean will dry up. Same way, if we able to do and know how to do dedication, whatever virtue we do, then this dedication, marriage, whatever we have accumulated, will remain there until we become Buddhahood. So it will not exhaust. So if you don't know how to dedicate, then marriage we may have created, but it will somehow exhaust, or will be faded. So therefore we have to make sure every single practice we do must dedicate for the attaining enlightenment. So once we do that, this marriage, the smallest or the tiniest, the marriage that we have accumulated, if we dedicate, it will be there until we become Buddhahood. So once we become Buddhahood, of course, then all the wish that we have will be fulfilled. As that is our hope, that is our wish. So therefore, we must know how to dedicate, and then the last one is the dedication.
Oh, tanga telo de donde Rinpoche ke de chusori thome kenche thomalangi chun de bando chongso ngarona de yonne ke ho chu song tamne ngarona sem kawando chinto tong ti chun nyamle singen chong yin de mone chun nyamle singen de chu dagori chu dagotala chun bu thona mone 나랑 zonore damne ke yakama kawji mogu 대신게 들이다 손제도 형주 선반는지 신기를 나베게 네 단티 네 담맹 때만 기시면도 다 어르버도세 뜻어나 코나베 궁안데미 세네 페네 로과에 보세서 오 도체 이니 들이 좀 맞다시 델레 고소라 때도 Darjeeling Center and the Dorzin Rinpoche has been invited me to the Singapore, and I'm very happy to share Dharma teaching with all of you, and because I also see that you all are Dharma practitioners. To share Dharma teaching to the Dharma practitioner is you are the owner of the Dharma, so therefore I must share this Dharma teaching with you all, and I'm so grateful and happy to have this kind of opportunity to share Dharma teaching with you all. And also along with this, then I also had an opportunity to visit the Indonesia Borobudur stupa, so pilgrimage. It was wonderful, and you all helped me a lot for this journey. I'm very grateful for that. And also now I wish and that you all will have a healthy and long life, and then may your Dharma practice will increase higher and higher. So Tashi Dilek, and thank you.
Nyambar me bayan kone kond bewa yo shibza kumze kumchen chi je tendre ne la wan tun gong rinjen bar je den ba zinde je de zang gong ben zin see you everyone. Afternoon we have a Chakra Samvara practice, conducted by Lapchi Dorzin Rinpoche. This very opportunity, his Yadan did is Chakra Samvara. Many years he practiced today he conducted this Chakra Samvara or Ghana Chakra, this is very auspicious. Everybody make time for come this practice, okay? Thank you.
So thank you very much to Most Venerable Lapchi Dorzin Dhondup Palden Rinpoche for your teachings. It is so profound yet relatable. Your illuminating teachings is truly inspiring. So we believe that everyone who has listened to the teaching have benefited tremendously, and we rejoice to all Dhamma friends. Thank you very much to all translators, Lama Nyendak for translating from Tibetan to English, Hana from Tibetan to Chinese, and Lan An from Vietnamese, Hana from English to Chinese, Lan An from English to Vietnamese. So Dhamma friends, please be reminded that there is a Chakra Samvara practice at 2 p.m. later. And do take note that you must have fully received either the Fivefold Path of Mahamudra empowerment or Chakra Samvara empowerment in order to attend the Chakra Samvara practice later. So with that, you Dhamma friends in DDDL Center, you may proceed to make offerings or to receive blessings from Rinpoche in an orderly manner. Thank you everyone once again, and also thank you very much to all Dhamma friends on Zoom. We shall see you all later. Thank you. So sorry, Dhamma friends. Rinpoche is proceeding for his lunch break now. So I would like to apologize for that. To make offerings and to receive blessings, so please do so at the end of the Chakra Samvara practice. Thank you very much.
Siddha Bala Hong Om Ai Namo Guru Beda Loya Natarena Shere Malang Guru Mahamudra Siddha Bala Hong Om Ai Namo Guru Beda Loya Natarena Shere Malang Guru Mahamudra Siddha Bala Hong Om Ai Namo Guru Beda Loya Natarena Shere Malang Guru Mahamudra Siddha Bala Hong Om Ai Namo Guru Beda Loya Natarena Shere Malang Guru Mahamudra Siddha Bala Hong Om Ai Namo Guru Beda Loya Natarena Shere Malang Guru Mahamudra Siddha Bala Hong Om Ai Namo Guru Beda Loya Natarena Shere Malang Guru Mahamudra Siddha Bala Hong Om Ai Namo Guru Beda Loya Natarena Shere Malang Guru Mahamudra Siddha Bala Hong Om Ai Namo Guru Beda Loya Natarena Shere Malang Guru Mahamudra Siddha Bala Hong Om Ai Namo Guru Beda Loya Natarena Shere Malang Guru Mahamudra Siddha Bala Hong Om Ai Namo Guru Beda Loya Natarena Shere Malang Guru Mahamudra Siddha Bala Hong Om Ai Namo Guru Beda Loya Natarena Shere Malang Guru Mahamudra Siddha Bala Hong Om Ai Namo Guru Beda Loya Natarena Shere Malang Guru Mahamudra Siddha Bala Hong Om Ai Namo Guru Beda Loya Natarena Shere Malang Guru Mahamudra Siddha Bala Hong Om Ai Namo Guru Beda Loya Natarena Shere Malang Guru Mahamudra Siddha Bala Hong Om Ai Namo Guru Beda Loya Natarena Shere Malang Guru Mahamudra Siddha